So I see you won the Flux Luxury Homes Advisor of the Year award.
Yeah,
I was just going through your LinkedIn previously. How did that come about?
it was recommended because a few people were interviewed and chosen, and out of that, it got narrowed down to me.
Oh, okay, so you're clearly a top expert in your field.
Thank you.
How long how long have you been in the
22.
industry for? So, like my first question is, can you share a bit about your role, and how it fits into the bigger picture at your company?
Sorry. So, how I started basically, I went to the school I went to get a degree.
Okay.
My bachelor's was in interior design. So, I've always been very intrigued with houses. I love, looking at houses, good, bad, whatever, ugly. I look at houses. And then, if there is a house where I see that there is room for improvement, my head starts turning like, okay, what what can I do to improve this? What can I do to make it look better? So the creative mindset kicks in basically when I see houses like that. And so I basically started looking at houses. My husband and I, we wanted to start doing some investments, in real estate. So he said, why don't you just get your real estate license? And once I got my license and I started working, I started really enjoying it more than just practicing interior design. So, yes, exactly. When I joined real estate, William, it was really, I'm going to do this. There are thousands of real estate agents out there. Why would anybody pick me? What would make me be different than 10,000 other real estate agents out there? And that was always my question from day one, that, okay, how can I make myself stand out in a sea of real estate agents? Why would somebody pick me? And that led to, okay, going into a niche marketing where, okay, a certain niche, I can tell them that I understand your culture, your heritage. So that led to my one line that makes me unique is, I take your culture and heritage and I fit it into today's American homes. Now, how many real estate agents can say that about people's culture? Because I'm a first generation immigrant to the US, you know. And so when I see other immigrants moving to the US and I understand the culture they're coming from, their lifestyle and culture, I can understand that. So that made me think, okay, I can show them houses from the perspective of what I experienced when I was looking for houses. When I moved to the US, I know the feeling it was. Yes, basically, yes. And when I'm showing houses and I'm making them see a picture that, this is how your lifestyle was back home, but really, just because you uprooted yourself and moved to another country doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the culture and heritage you've left behind. Why don't I show you? Yeah, why don't I show you how you can still have that and still have the American dream of having a land that you own in the US?
Of course, of course. Yeah, that is an interesting insight, especially like you said that the real estate market is heavily saturated with agents and agencies. Like in my home city, there is something like 300 plus different agencies that will all have a range of
Yes.
employees,
What value
all
I bring
going
to the
for a
table.
limited number of, lets and sales, etc. So, like the point you made about standing out
Usually, like,
is extremely
I've been
important.
coached by several life coaches and real estate coaches over the years, William, because, I come from a family where my father is a very high achiever. And seeing him, achieve big time. So my thing was, okay, if I'm going to learn this skill, I'm going to learn from the best. And I always invested in myself and got coaching from the best real estate coaches out there. And they always taught me that, have the time to prep for your day. So I usually go to bed by 10, but before I go to bed, what I do is I write all my things that I need to do the next day. So when I wake up, I know exactly what I have to do. I'm not wasting time thinking, okay, where do I even start? And before I know it, it's noon. No, I know exactly what I need to do. I wake up 5 a.m. and between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., I prep myself. That's my me time, William, honestly. That I prep myself for the day. I meditate, I journal, I exercise, and I get ready for the day. And once I do that, then I'm just implementing what I need to do. I just go down the list of things that I've written the night before, what I need to. And yes, things do fall on the plate occasionally, and I have to constantly prioritize. During the day, I usually follow up with my business on what I need to do during the morning hours. I follow up on what I need to do to grow my business. Afternoon is I follow through on the current clients, what I need to do for them to move their files along. We're doing open houses for other agents, and people walk in, look at the house, they don't get represented by agents, then I start working with them. And then of course I had a good database, and just letting my database know that I do real estate, and I started working by referral. And even today, 80% of my business is word of mouth referral. I'm constantly networking. Again, because I've been coached by top real estate coaches in the US, when I'm networking, I'm on focus and purpose with a certain system that I follow when I'm networking with people. So we call it the three C's. The first C is you try to see compliment the person. Like if you're the person I'm going to network with, William, the first thing I'll say, hey William, I love the jacket you're wearing. And and that will start off on a conversation. Okay. And then the next thing would be that what is the commonality between you and me? We both have podcasts, and we can start talking about podcasts. And the last thing would be the connect. What makes us connect and remember you? What was that one thing that I'll remember about William Fitzpatrick, that next time when I meet somebody, that how can I connect you with somebody that will benefit from you, or you would benefit from that person? So I'm a very good connector when it comes to networking. Yeah, exactly. So somebody needs help, and then I say I know you, and I know that you are the person that can help that person, and you will both benefit from it. Tomorrow, when both of you are thinking real estate, then you will think it's Samina that we're going to call. So that is what I feel, that networking with a purpose. It's the three, again, the three C's: complement, commonality, connect.
Connecting and having real relationships with people is what lasts.
In the US, I mean, and this has been due for a long time, but in between we hit COVID, and that got pushed back due to the COVID times. The market did not shift uh, when it should have, but we are seeing the shift right now. We are moving from a very high sellers market into a buyer's market. We are seeing the shift come, and we are seeing price reductions happening and market changing right now.
So, moving on from that, what major shifts are you seeing in the real estate industry right now?
But I'll tell you a very interesting thing, William. One of my coaches had said that always for us, we should always follow the California market, because what happens in the West Coast, we're just 6 months away in the East Coast, and from us it goes to UK and Europe and all, and from Europe it goes to Asia. So we should just follow the West Coast trend, what's happening.
So, house buyers are very reluctant, and therefore not a lot is moving off the shelves out of these agencies.
Honestly, for a real estate agent, you just change your focus. We are like the pendulum. You work with sellers when it's a seller's market, you work with buyers more when it's a buyer's market. So we just shift our focus accordingly to stay up with our states.
Yeah, stay ahead of the curve.
I think the frustration part is people not understanding that we are the real estate agents, and they're just afraid to move forward, like with uncertainty what's going to happen, and they're holding back. And we are trying to tell them that don't wait too long, because real estate moves in waves, right? So in spring there will be more buyers and more sellers coming in spring for the market, but right now I always say that there are two types of sellers. There's one who's saying, I have to sell, and then there's one who's saying, I want to sell. So, right now in the fall market, it's all the I have to sell because nobody wants to put their house in the market during the holiday season, unless they have to. So all the I want to sells are going to come back in spring. So right now, buyers who wants to get a good deal should be really focusing on buying a house now before January or spring hits. Yes. And the buyers with fear not understanding that and just still waiting. And then they'll think, oh my God, we should have bought in. I mean, I used to do a lot of first time buyers, but now I do a lot of move up buyers or move down buyers, like buyers who are wanting to move from a townhouse to a single family or downsizing from a single family to a smaller house. Those are the type of buyers I'm working with currently. And which helps me in the
Yeah,
process
so
that
striking
they
while the
either have
iron's
a
hot.
house to sell and buy at the same time.
Okay.
For me, that's a benefit as an agent because I end up doing two transactions back to back with them.
Out of interest, do you deal with a lot of first-time buyers, or is it someone that's been on the property ladder for
No.
a
And
consecutive
I
amount
have
of
over the
years?
years found multiple ways to strategize and not make them feel overwhelmed with the whole process because they don't know where they want to start. And I always tell them that start with your current house first, get it ready. Finding a house will be so sudden that unless you're ready with your current house, it is going to be difficult. So I start with the current first.
Yeah, and you're not having clients getting stuck in a chain as much as traditionally other agencies would.
Yes, absolutely. Improving, well, we are in the age of technology, and they say that AI will never replace us, William, but an agent who understands AI will replace me. So for me, it is very important that I keep up with technology. I am trying to master my game with AI as we speak. I'm learning playbooks in AI, how to use them, and you know again stand out in the crowd with technology. But for me, see, when I'm competing with other agents to get a listing, William, it's difficult for me to tell them, oh, I've been in the market for 40 years. Yes, I have been in the market enough that I understand the market, but when I'm competing with somebody who's been in the industry for 40 years, what I can compete with them better is through technology. Yes, yes. And then we are also catering to the Gen Zs and the millennials, right? So they all think different, of course, than the baby boomers. And then the next thing is I also keep in touch with statistics. News will tell you different things, but what is the truth, what is not the truth, we don't know, right? But if I educate myself and I keep up with the statistics, what's happening in the market, I'm a more educated agent for my client, whether it's a seller or a buyer, and I can show them that, look, I don't know what the news is telling you, but look at the statistics here.
Yeah, so you're looking to
And all
elevate
agents need to
and
tell you about statistics.
sort of evolve the business, sort of move with the times, etc. Okay, okay.
Yes. And every client is unique to themselves. And you just have to ask enough questions to dig deeper, to understand them better. And the other thing that I have over the years tried to master my skill with is listening to the client's needs. And William, I'm saying not listening to them only verbally, but emotionally also. Because most clients don't know how to tell you verbally everything that they want to get help with. And that brings me to my TED talk. I don't know if you've seen, but the three principles of communication that connects the world. That was my TED talk. Yes, yeah. And then again, asking the three deep questions. What is making you move? Where do you want to move? What is the timeline? And if you don't meet that timeline, what could happen? Paint that picture for me so that I can understand you better to cater to your needs.
I guess in terms of people buying and selling, if they're parting ways with a lot of money or they're having to sort of downgrade their lifestyle, like you said, emotionally, that can be something that people would want to hide. So,
Right. And sometimes, what happens is I'm working with a buyer and I'm showing them exactly the criteria they've given me in the houses. And then I start reiterating, you wanted 3 bedrooms, this house has 3 bedrooms. You wanted 2 bathrooms, this house has that. You wanted the location, this house has the location, the schools you wanted. So, what is keeping you from moving forward with this house? I dig deep. And is this house better than the last 5 houses I've shown you? If it is, what is keeping you from moving forward? So you gotta ask 3 deep questions to make them realize also that, you know what, you're right. This house does have all that. Why am I not moving forward? I want to do at least 30 transactions in the next 6 months. In the 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. With including sellers and buyer transaction both. Yes.
okay, well, my next question is where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months from now in terms of business?
Just amplify more of the activities that I should be doing, meeting more people. Like for my from my coach, I'm supposed to be meet adding at least 800 people to my network yearly. Am I doing that? You know, so keeping that awareness that am I constantly meeting and adding new people to my database with the networking I'm doing, with the open houses I'm doing, because these these are the people who will grow my referral business and take my business to the next level. So constantly, it almost has to be that you have to be aware of what's bringing the most business to you. I looked at my this year where my business came from most, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking those activities, amplifying them just to get more sales. That's all it is. I hope I could give you some nuggets here.
Okay. Well, look, that sort of brings to close my bulk of the questions. Like that was it was great to learn your insight.